Jethro's still getting used to the new helmet, because if Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So, that's today's idea. Hi, Mama. So, because of you, we now have a helmet, and we now have to make it slower, right? Yeah? And we need to have a backrest, and some sort of wraparound to hold the bobblehead. Okay, I think we got it all covered now. Alright, so this thing is a junkyard theme. We're not going to junkyard a helmet because that's a safety requirement, but the rest of it we're going to. This is the jack shaft assembly off of a Coleman 200EX mini bike. These things get thrown in the trash and are free all over the place, so that keeps in the junkyard theme. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from our regular clutch to the jack shaft, which is going to give us about a 2-to-1 gear reduction, which should take this thing from doing about 24 miles per hour down to doing about 12, maybe 14 miles per hour. Is that a little bit better? Yeah. And it might actually climb a hill, because right now, John owes me a clutch after frying it and making white smoke out of it, obsessed with trying to make it up a hill. Oh, you burned the clutch. You're gonna have to get a running start.
Oh, come on.
The old clutch isn't liking it. We might have to get you a better clutch. Oh yes, he's not happy. Alright, we'll back you up and get a running start. And being belligerent. So, we've got a new FD clutch to go on. I'll post a link for those down below. They're probably the best Chinesium clutch that I've run into. So here's our quibble. Our quibble is there's no space for the jack shaft over the top of this thing. So what John and I are thinking at this point is we lift the engine up and back, probably about 6 inches up and probably about 2 inches back. And then that should put the jack shaft output right about here, coming forward into the 60 tooth here. Otherwise than that, basically we got to build something. And then Mama will be happy and we can be back to playing.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what the purpose of these notches is on these, but if you have a bolt in there or you have a bolt in there, you can wedge a screwdriver down into those notches to be able to get this undone. Like this one lines up with the rail, so I can't get an impact on it, so I'm left with a wrench. John, the progress of the entire project is waiting on you. Why have you not gotten the master link out? You're supposed to be the master of chains. That's your whole point to these projects. You're the master of chains.
It's a pain in my butt right now.
Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Every dad that watches this channel feels better when I do this to you. Just so you know, it's therapeutic. I've been a YouTuber long enough that I know the what if comment section pretty well. The what if comment section on this project is going to be, what if you put the jack shaft assembly down like this? The answer is, the two gears try to live in the same area. It just does not work. I could try to move this forward, but then John's going to complain his back hurts. And when John complains, I have to listen to it, unfortunately. So I guess we're back to Dad's idea. Alright, John, 2 1/2-inch wrenches. Let's pull the 5/16 out of the engine mount. These clutches come in tons of sizes, tons of variations. So at this point, every time I pull one off or I pull a new one out of package, I write tooth count, shaft size, chain type, and if it's used, I write condition. In this case, John killed it. Bad. It turns out that the keyway in this was all jankied up, so I welded up where the keyway was screwed, and now we're just going to lathe it down, because $400 lathe, you might as well use it to save a $20 part. Yeah, we're going to see if that works. I've seen guys with these GX 160s complain about this in the mini bike group, and turns out that it's actually real. So I popped that one in. That one will not line up. And what it comes down to is that heat shield right there. We've got to beat in with a hammer in order to fit the bearing assembly. That's not a big deal. It is irritating. The good news is this idea looks like it's going to work. The bad news is we've escalated in complexity. Originally I thought we had to go up and back, but really we actually have to go up, back, and over towards this side by 2 inches. Because this uses the outside for the clutch and the inside for the drive. Now granted, we could monkey around and we could change it. If we put this roller on a slide roller, we could flip it all to the inside. But I think just building an up and over sliding engine cradle is just easier. And if we decide we want a torque converter later, then we've already got the setup to do it. Yeah. Which is what the whole comment section is going to say, is I should have just bought you guys a $60 torque converter instead of all of this monkey stuff. But then we wouldn't learn anything. We wouldn't have cutting and fabrication and bad welds. While I'm underneath here, wanted to say a thank you to those of you that go in the description and use the Amazon list. This came from that, and we use it for marking out where to drill holes in underneath. So thank you for the support. We're going to get that drilled out. There's a lot going on here, but let me simplify it. We've got a reinforcement, which is a piece of deck lift off of a Cub Cadet. We've got a piece of tractor pallet here. Another chunk of pallet of some sort here. The idea is this is going to be solid mounted onto here and be able to slide back and forth, because otherwise we've got to make a chain tensioner for the back here. And there's just not much room in there. I'd rather not deal with it. It's easy enough just to slide the entire engine back and forth in order to tension it up. Nothing is bolted down right now. We're just test fitting all of the chain and everything. But if we spin the rear tire, as you can see, everything's all lined up. So, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. We've got a helmet. We've got a slower gear ratio. Now we need a seat backing type idea. So this is set up so it will slide back for tension as the chain stretches. I think what we're going to do is bend a hoop out of some EMT conduit that comes off of there, up in behind and over, and then maybe put a piece of plywood and some seat foam. I don't know, something like that. We've got leftover seat foam from an off-road lawn tractor build, so that'll probably be what we put in. John's playing the game called Where the Hell Did the Master Key for the Chain Go? I have a piece of EMT conduit that I pulled out of a dumpster couple of weeks ago. We've got our bender here, just standard Vevor bender. I'll post a link for this thing. We build a lot with EMT conduit around here. Grind it off, weld it outside, and drink your milk. On a side note here, if you do buy one of these Vevors, basically they bend at an 8-inch radius. So if you measure 8 inches, 4 is where the center of your bend is going to be for a 90. And also, this is not 90. This is 90 when you're bending on one of these. Alright, so we're going to bring that hoop around, and then we're going to take that and we're going to cut it off so it matches to the other side, and then go from there. Work area is currently a giant mess, but here's where we are right now. I've decided I'm going to put a hoop in from here up and around. This is actually really solid. I can't manage to get it to bend or whatever, but I think putting a hoop in is a better idea anyway. I made sure that I left enough room here that I can pull the side cover off, because these break on a regular basis when you beat on them and stuff like that. Now, in order to finish this off, we've got a sheet of plywood that we're going to cut down to fit basically in that general area. This is actually like 24 inches wide, and we need a 28-inch wide seat. So one of the sides is going to be kind of cobbled together. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter that much. I don't know what the correct way to do this is. I just know the way that I was taught to do this for like rebuilding tractor seats and stuff with plywood. You overlap the edge, but you don't pull all the backing paper. You just pull enough in order to overlap it. You flip this over, and then you put your foam on, and then you bring the whole thing across, carefully setting it down a little at a time. So that's what we're going to do at this point. Is I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it. I'm going to set it down. I'm going to grab my foam, get everything out of the way. Line our foam up. The nice thing about using crummy plywood is that if you kind of rub the foam a little bit, it actually sticks to the plywood. Just kind of wants to stay there. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull this back just enough. And I hate doing these. I haven't done one of these since I was a little kid. Back then you had to spray tacky adhesive onto this instead of buying this. I think I actually like spraying the adhesive on better than trying to do it this way. So that's going to come up. It's going to go there. Paper, I really do think spraying adhesive on, I think really honestly actually worked out better. But, alright. Go. So, right now we can see that we pulled it up and we made a line here if John comes down through. Okay, so I screwed that up. It really should be tight like that. So there's going to be a little bit of play in it, especially over here where we've got the oddball piece. And because we've got the oddball piece, over time you will always see where the crease is. That's the reason why you pay for upholstery to be done in one piece. All right. I've seen a lot of arguments for whether you should work center out or not. I think that it works better working center out. I think no matter what you do, you're going to end up with creases. So just do whatever it is you can do easiest. anyways, I gotta fold over the ends. But there you go. In the description, I'll include a link for this along with the foam. And this is just hardware store tools. Nothing special. It's always good to keep somebody around the shop with tiny hands, because every once in a while some engineer called Redneck Computer Geek is an idiot and designs a bolt on the inside of a 3-inch tube. Actually, I put 2 inside there. I'm stupid. I really should have, like, burnt a hole through the side for access or something. But, you know, it's... Did you just realize you didn't put the washer in?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, you can curse the engineer. We've all done it. I'm pretty sure John is putting that chain on for about the 4th time now. He's getting pretty good at putting it on. It's just getting the stupid thing off that for some reason gives him quibbles. We seem to have, go figure, about 2 teeth that are bent that are currently self-clearancing with this old chain. The tensioner is on here, but what we discovered was that John had to actually drill out and make a washer that brought the tensioner out a little, because by running the chain forward, it was actually going to hit the tensioner arm. So now that clears by about 1/16 of an inch. It'll self-clear for everything else. Self-clear is dead for I've had enough of this project, just so that you know. And we're going to have to cut up the original cover, but I think I can hit this tab down here, just so that this is covered up and nobody's going to stuff some little people fingers into it. Cold start with choke, bench testing, take 1. Alright, bop the throttle. Yep, bop it again. When you couldn't figure out why your 20-year-old giant chive was dying. Yeah, you're fine. You can feed the chickens, my poor old chive plant. Alright, test drive without screaming toddler. Go for it. Oh yeah, that's way slower. And it took off without any issue. Okay, John, let's see if Mama's happy. Okay, Mama. Is that slow enough for you and a little more safety?
Yeah, I guess it's slow enough.
It's half the speed it was.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's way more throttle control. Much better. I broke something! A dad-sized lead foot may or may not have ripped the throttle cable assembly out of the top of the engine. So now we have a limiter that we can dial in. Yeah. Whoops. Alright, let's try the hill. No problem. Much better. We have a very overtired Jethro who definitely needs a nap like an hour ago, but he's enjoying himself. John says that the cart is way more responsive and a lot easier to drive. And it'll drive with me in it, which it couldn't do before without roasting a clutch. Although, I broke it, so maybe I should stay the hell out of it. Unfortunately, John also broke it, kind of. The last time we headed out, he ran over a truck caliper that was holding down a tarp to kill grass. And so it's got two teeth that don't quite work so well anymore. It's a 62 standard sprocket, so what we're debating is doing a video of seeing whether we can cut that sprocket off, lathe it down, and weld in a 60-tooth mini bike sprocket off of a Coleman 200EX. I don't know. Would you guys want to go and see that video if we see if we can make our own sprocket using mini bike parts to fix a go-kart? I don't know whether that's worth watching, but give us something down in the comment section on whether you would. Anyways, Jethro, can you say bye-bye? That is not a bye-bye. That's a duh. Can you say bye-bye? Good boy, bye-bye. We're getting there. Hi, John, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.